obviously. How do we balance the writing and the reading aspects?
Okay, I think that's a great question. I always see it as a bit of a dance. So, rather than just reading or just writing, if you can start to do that practice where you're kind of dancing between reading and then a little bit of writing and then to a bit of reading and then to a little bit of writing, I think what that means is by the time you get to the point of like actually putting this essay together, you have a body of stuff that you can start drawing on. And it also means, Peter, that valuable work that you've been talking about the brain and the fingers and getting the thinking happening has already started happening. So maybe something that you can do, just like a tangible practice that you can start doing is, okay, read a paper and then read another one. And then in a writing journal or however you like to take your notes, briefly write to yourself a little note about how are these two papers related? What do they have in common? Are the authors saying anything similar? Did they maybe draw on the same kind of methodology with different effects? Is it the same study, but it's in two different contexts, and what was different? Start to see if you can just make a statement for yourself about how those papers come together. Doesn't have to be perfect writing. We're just going to keep writing words, as we said. Then read another paper and see how does that fit into the mix? Was it completely different? If so, write that down in your little writing journal or whatever it might be. And you'll find that act of moving between reading and writing also helps you take ownership of what it is that you're reading. Because I don't know about any of you, but I remember in my PhD, Peter, did you ever have this? Sitting down and reading a reading, thinking, okay, I'm going to be a responsible student today. So you take your reading, you make your cup of tea, you sit down, and I would spend the 45 minutes, hour reading the reading, and I would get to the end and I'd be like, I don't know what just happened in my life or what was in there. And it was just kind of gone. That was because I wasn't actively reading and I wasn't planning on really doing anything straight away with that information. Whereas if you already start the dancing between reading and writing from the very beginning, you're taking ownership of that. You know what you're going to use it for. And you are already starting to make those connections. So I think something like that could be really helpful for the person who asked the question.